Hello and welcome to another edition of the Spiritual Medicine Digest. My name is Dr. 𝗟𝗓𝗓𝗓. This week's source asked me to talk to you about your soul's relationship with the singularity. Now, if you look up what is the singularity, you'll find all sorts of definitions on the internet. And in fact, when I was looking it up, the definitions that I got were about artificial intelligence and how when we get to the point where artificial intelligence is so intelligent that there is no going back, they call that the singularity. Now, I was like, that's not anything like what Source was telling me. So, my definition of the singularity is the no thing, sort of like the dot of what created the universe. So if you can imagine, putting a black dot on a white page and imagining that little pinhead of a dot has all the potential of creating the entire multiverse, the entire infiniverse, if you will. That black dot is not even a field yet, or a field of energy per se, but it is kind of like a void, but not even a void. It's less than a void. It's like the tiniest black hole you could think of, but with the greatest gravitational pull. So the singularity is really interesting to me because lately I've been muscle testing myself as 𝗟𝗓𝗓𝗓𝗓, but also as the singularity. Now, at first I was like, that's kind of weird. But as it is with my life, sometimes things don't make a lot of sense to me at the beginning when I get certain messages, and then later on through validation from speaking with other teachers and seeing videos and things like that, then it starts to make sense. So if our soul has a really optimized relationship with the singularity, there are some benefits. Because here's the thing. The singularity, my current understanding, which could change tomorrow, but my current understanding and communicating in English is that that dot, that singularity, then in our reality produces a field, and that is like what people call the 0-point field, or the seat of creation. And that field interpenetrates everything in reality, including things that are manifest in our 3D reality. So people, I think, used to call it the ether, and they supposedly disproved that such a ether thing exists. However, more recently, they have actually reversed that, and they have proved that there is some unseen energy or substance that connects everything to everyone. And that at the end of the day, even if you look at your hand that looks solid, if you go in smaller and smaller and smaller and smaller into the microcosmic or the microscopic level and beyond, all you get when you get there is not a solid particle per se or matter, but you actually get energy. So we are all energy. So the quantum physicists have been telling us for, gosh, how many years now? 70 years, 60 years, something like that. It hasn't really trickled down into our high schools or universities as far as I know, and definitely not into medical school as far as I know. So the whole thought about, what does this all mean is like, hey, if the singularity creates the seed of all creation, of that creational field, the 0-point field, we know that when we tap into or tune into the 0-point field, that we can basically create or pull that quantum possibility of whatever it is we consciously desire into a state where we can then manifest it into the 3D. That being said, most of us are not currently, as humans anyway, adept at going, hi, please put 5 pounds of gold in my hand now, right? And then you're kind of waiting there. So that is a possible future reality. And if that future reality comes to pass, I should say when, we probably wouldn't be that interested in it anyway, because there's all sorts of other things. Why would we need gold, right? So the really neat thing is that we are getting closer and closer to that state of manifesting. So things do manifest instantaneously for us on that quantum level, that our connection to that seed of creation is seemingly getting closer, if you will, our God within, if you will. So that is really kind of exciting and neat to experience in our lifetime. And you may already have experienced more than ever before your abilities to manifest and also notice some amazing coincidences and synchronicities. Now, you could argue, Dr. Karen, I think it's just Facebook and Google listening to me, and that's why I see this ad, or that's why this article pops up, or whatever. And that could be true. Okay, but there are times, and I'd love for you to share an example of that in the comments below this video if this happened to you, where you are not talking about something, you are just thinking about something, or you are just wishing for something. And it manifests and it shows it to you in a way that you can't mistake it. And you're like, huh, okay, well, did I have Facebook on? Did I, But here's the thing. One thing, manifesting ads, that's one thing, right? But how about this one? Manifesting a whole telesummit on a topic that nobody wanted to do a telesummit on before. I'll give you an example. So this is a synchronicity or a manifestation, whatever you want to call it. I've said a couple of times, and a couple times to a friend, and just out loud maybe once or twice, and much more often thinking it. And just the other day, 2 days ago, I was thinking, again, not out loud, so anyone could hear, but I was just thinking, we really need a fascia summit. Like people really need to understand the importance of our fascia, not just physically and not just metabolically, but spiritually and energetically as well. It is such an amazing organ, and it's so underrated. Most people haven't even heard of fascia, right? They keep thinking that the skin is the largest organ in the body, on the body, but it's not. I would argue it is the fascia. And so in my mind, silently to myself, I said, oh, we really need a fascia summit. And I'm thinking, well, who would I invite to the fascia summit, right? And I was like, well, this person, then that lady that I can't remember her name, but yeah, she should be in it too. And I'm thinking, okay, Karen, like when do you have extra time to actually host a telesummit? And the answer was, none. So then I thought to myself, well, it'd be better if somebody else did it. But nobody seems to want to do this. Come on, somebody do it, please, right? So the next day, what do I get in my inbox? Health Means emails me and says, hey, we have a new telesummit. It's the Fascia and Chronic Pain Telesummit. You want in? And I was like, click, like, whoa, right? And I'm reading, and I'm like, oh, I know her. Oh, Deanna Hansen's in it. Yay. And I know him. Oh, wow. They're talking about easy water and fascia. Oh my goodness. They're talking about it. The stuff that I talk about that's so weird. Nobody else understands me, right? So I was super excited. But that is just an example of how when we are having a decent relationship, if you will, with the singularity, how things can just manifest, and that's a benefit. Now, I actually, to be perfectly honest, was asking Source, well, what do I talk about? What's the healing for this week? And it's around our soul's relationship, energetic relationship, if you will, with the singularity, or with singularity. Think of singularity also, some people say it's like a black hole, right? So there's different definitions. So the one I'm talking about is that single point of no thing that then divine spark, if you will, divine consciousness, if you will, that sparks into the field of creation, which has all potential realities within it. And love is like the glue, right? That manifests out of that into eventually the 3D of what we see as solid material things. And many people want to manifest more money, manifest better health, all this kind of stuff, right? So if you have an optimized relationship, your soul, with singularity, or with the singularity, then here are some really cool benefits. Now, you may have heard of the law of attraction. The law of attraction, what you do is you consciously desire something. And then when you have decided it, and maybe you speak it out loud in the present tense, this is what we used to teach, in the present tense of what it is you want, and then you embody that reality. And every day you practice embodying it already happening. You feel it, you energize it with your emotions, right? You elevate that. Like that formula is well known and well studied, and it works. When your soul has the optimized relationship with the no thing, the singularity, you don't need the emotion. What? Yeah. I've been waiting so long to tell you guys this, because this happened for light being starseeds like a while ago, but not everybody else. So I asked God, do I tell people? And the answer was nah. But now I get to tell you, it's so exciting. So instead of having these multiple steps to manifest what you want, now it's not saying it's wrong, it still can be super, super helpful, right? If your soul has that optimized relationship with singularity, you actually no longer need emotion to manifest what you want. Now, that being said, if you're negative all the time, right? Yeah, you probably will manifest more negative things. But I'm not discouraging you, of course, from practicing embodying your new ideal reality. Those of us that have been practicing for a while, we can just do it, boom, like that, right? I can go from like angry to like joyful in like 2 seconds, sort of like a 2-year-old. Anyway, so that's actually like a skill that we kind of need to remember, what we did when we were really young, and we didn't have all this mind frick that like interferes with our abilities to do that. Here it is. If you are in a space of neutrality, and if you're connected to the still point, the stillness, the singularity more and more of the time, then what you think about comes about. Now, some people be like, sometimes I don't think such good things, right? Since, sometimes my fear gets a hold of me. Am I in trouble? Am I going to start manifesting these bad things instantaneously? Well, it doesn't seem to be the case. It seems to be the case, especially with, spiritual people who've really done a lot of work on themselves, releasing trauma and releasing all that, old negative energies from this or any other lifetime. It seems that when they think things, and they're connected to that singularity, and that relationship is really strong, that it's mostly positive things that come about. It's not that they don't have negative thoughts, but I was wondering this, I was thinking, so I know with the creator, still points, 0 point field, that, it doesn't have an opinion as to what it is you desire is bad or good. I mean, the difference is like the no thing, there's no polarity. The no thing is one thing, which is no thing. There's no bad, there's no good, there's no masculine, there's no feminine. Like it just is. And you've probably heard law of attraction teachers saying that, well, if you have good positive thoughts, it is so much more powerful than negative thoughts. And that was always curious to me. I'm like, why? The no thing doesn't have any judgment or opinion whether or not it's good or bad. Theoretically, it should be equally able to manifest, right? Are you following what I'm saying? Right, this is what I was questioning before. If you have negative thoughts or positive thoughts, why is it that all these teachers over the decades, years, whatever, millennia have said your positive thoughts are X number of times more powerful than your negative thoughts at manifesting? And even my intuition teacher, Laura Day, used to say, well, it's much easier to heal someone than to kill them. But why is that? Since the singularity and being connected to the field has no opinion whatsoever, you can do whatever you want, right? Like people say, oh, God is good. God's not good or bad. God just is God, right? God is the singularity. God is the 0 point field, if you will, the creator. So why is it that so many people say that the positive manifests much more? I think I figured it out. Yeah. So this is a theory. So take it for what it is. If it resonates, let me know. If it doesn't, that's fine. So my theory is that although the still point, the singularity, the 0 point field, there's no weighting as to like, oh, negative things are less likely to manifest than positive things, you know, it's more powerful, blah, 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 right? I think it's all equal. Whatever it is you want to create, you can create. Now, the reason I believe in our reality that a positive intention may have multiple times more power, if you will, to manifest than a negative intention, at least in our current reality, is because the collective consciousness of the beings that we're connected with, so other human beings, other living beings, right, want more positive things than negative. So, in other words, we are all one. So we are connected to the collective consciousness. Sometimes we're negatively affected by things, fear, anger, things like that. Other times we're positively affected, compassion, empathy, things like that. And it's okay. Now, if you can feel negative emotions coming from the collective consciousness or the collective unconscious, as people talk about it, it doesn't mean that it's all negative. But when we talk about people's desires, right, subconsciously and consciously, I would say it's weighted more towards the positive. What do most people want, right? They want joy, they want prosperity, they want harmony. I don't think the majority of people, you know, go around saying, I want to kill people, I want war. You know, that's a very tiny minority of people, right? So the collective consciousness is like positive stuff. So I believe that is why it's so much more powerful, because it's already so much energy in that direction of what it is humans and humankind desires, is that when you have a positive thought or an intention, it can manifest potentially much faster than a negative one, because negative ones are just less common. You know, the collective unconscious is not necessarily focused on, you know, trying to kill people and all that negative stuff. So anyway, if you have a different theory, please definitely post it below, because I always had that question, right? You know, sometimes I want to argue with some of the spiritual teachers. It's like, God is good, you know, healing comes from God and right? And I'm like, well, everything comes from God. So that means demons, that means like everything, right? So I mean, it's not that I'm overly inclusive. I was just trying to be, you know, understanding the concepts. It doesn't mean I prefer, you know, some of the so-called negative things that people have done or want to do. Surely I wish, like most of humanity, to experience that love, joy, peace, harmony, prosperity, and abundance for all on the planet. That's part of my mission, and maybe it's part of yours as well. So today, what we're going to do is check the relationship between your soul and the singularity, and then optimize it, recalibrate it and optimize it. Because when you optimize it, then I'm told that you can manifest faster your positive intentions without necessarily having to go through the whole emotional embodying, you know, all that exercise, although it's still a good exercise to do. If you have not done it, practice that first, okay? But this will make it much easier. The second thing is it helps you experience in a human body, which I think, oh, okay, I'm not going to cry, I'm not going to cry, which helps you experience, there we go, experience God, experience one, experience your God self, your God within, while you are still here in a body. It's one thing to like go into the spirit world and feel the all and, you know, connected to God and spirit. Not that it always happens that way, but yeah, but in a human body, that is a lot harder. But if your soul's relationship to the singularity is recalibrated and optimized, then that experience of the one, of God within, can be with you more and more in this reality, in this human body. Or if you're listening and you're an alien, in your alien body. How cool is that, right? Okay, so let's do this week's 𝗟𝗚𝗡𝗛 Healing Activation. If you would like to receive the activation, just make the intention to receive. We're going to go first into the stillness, which is the 0 point field. And how we get there is we just pay attention to the energy in the body. That's my quick way of doing it, stillness through observing internal movement. And then I'm going to go ahead afterwards to do some of the 𝗟𝗚𝗡𝗛 healing activations or directives. And your job is just to receive and just to feel what it feels like in the body as I say the directives and right afterwards. And love for you to comment, of course, and what your experience is. So here we go. So if you can close your eyes, but it's safe for you to do so, go ahead and do that. If not, you can keep your eyes open. Rub your hands together really, really fast, get some energy going. This is one way we can activate the energy in the body to make sure we are here in the body and paying attention. And then relax, close your eyes. Feel the energy and movement of the flow in the body, maybe where your hands are, maybe it goes up the arm, maybe it goes down the leg, whatever it is, doesn't really matter. Just focus and feel and follow the flow. So here we connect to the 0 point field. So I'm going to do some divine muscle testing, just checking. So of all the people that will ever watch this video, I'll say in the next year, what percentage have a 100% recalibrated and optimized relationship between the soul and the singularity? Only 8%. Okay, and I'm not even at 100% either, so I'm only at 70 something. So I waited until today to do this with you. Okay, so here's the 𝗟𝗚𝗡𝗛 healing directive. Go ahead and tune into your body, feel the body. As I speak the directive, I now command that your soul's relationship with the singularity be recalibrated and optimized to 100% in the highest and best way, all directions of time and all realities where you exist, with ease, speed, and grace. Thank you. It's now commanded that anything preventing you from fully experiencing God within, the singularity yourself, and from manifesting your deepest heart's desire, be healed and resolved in the highest and best way, with ease, speed, and grace. Thank you. So just go ahead and just feel your body right now. Notice any shifts, movements of energy. You may or may not have anything, but that's okay if you don't. And if you do, you can open your eyes. You can go ahead and comment below this video. Let me know what you're experiencing with this activation, how it feels. Did you feel emotional? Did you not? I mean, whatever it is. And if you have a different understanding of how the whole singularity thing works spiritually and have a great understanding of that, please post that as well. You know, give us your 2 cents on how that works for you, how you explain it. I've explained it the best I can based on my current understanding, which, like I said, could change tomorrow, but this is the way I explain it, and it seems to, at this time, make sense to me. So again, post your comments underneath this video, and definitely while you're here, if you're on YouTube, hit the subscribe button and the notification bell so all new videos will be put into your inbox and you'll be alerted whenever there's a new video. Okay, so a couple of announcements for this week on Light Warrior Radio. I have the great pleasure of interviewing my soul brother, Dr. Ryan Joseph Allen, and his book is My Drug Dealer Brought Me to God. Yeah, that's a pretty cool title, right? So Dr. Ryan went through quite a bit of stuff in his life. He's going to share about his story, and we're going to be talking about stories. You know, about stories and how our stories ripple throughout the world. So during the interview, we'll be discussing things like the impact of storytelling, what is post-traumatic spiritual growth, and how addiction and recovery can impact you and others. And addiction is one of those things that is a struggle for many, many, many humans and is a stumbling block to our connection to Source. It's funny because it's our lack of connection to Source that causes the addiction. But anyway, we'll talk about that on Monday. So it's Monday at 12 noon Eastern, and it's live. So definitely call in, or you can, click the link and be there live and chat with us on the call, 12 noon Eastern on Monday with Dr. Ryan Joseph Allen. So I'm really, really excited about that. And some cool stuff, new stuff and reminders. So Ascension 3 is launching for 2 weeks, actually the first 2 weeks of November. And we're going to have quite a few final sales and sales. We have some inventory we would like to move. We would like to simplify the store, which means that we will have key pieces in the future. And right now, there's a lot of variety, let's just say, and it's a little bit unwieldy to have all this variety in inventory. So we really want to simplify the store down. So, if you would like an Ascension 3 piece, which you can use as a beautiful healing tool, basically like a magic wand, telling it what you want it to heal for you, definitely get in on the sales. Now, you can go to ascension3.net and put in your email address, and you'll be the first to know when the store opens. We have, like I said, lots of sale items and final sale items for you to choose from. And if you happen to be part of my Health Freedom Tribe, wait until you get the coupon in your inbox, because you have an additional 10% coupon, and you can use it on top of already on sale items. Is that a sentence? Already on sale items. Anyway, you know what I mean. So you have an additional 10%. So make sure you have your special code, okay, when you go and check out. So Ascension 3 is going to be open, that store, for 2 weeks to get whether you're getting your jewelry or your pyramids or your bracelets, So that is the last time we are going to be open before Christmas. Now, if you're in North America, well, can't say so much for Canada. If you're in the U.S., Canada Postal Service is interesting. So if you're in the U.S., this is the perfect time to get a gift for Christmas, or gifts for Christmas, because the cool thing is, if you want to help protect your family and friends, or help or heal them, things like that, if they're wearing, an Ascension 3 that you got them, you can literally do an order and Ascension 3 order, like, restore their boundaries, right? And just have that person in mind. And from your Ascension 3 to their Ascension 3, boop, you'll make that connection really, really quickly. So it's a beautiful assist if you'd like some assistance in helping and supporting your friends and family that you love and care for. So that's a really great time to get your pieces, because if you are in the United States, you will get them before Christmas. Yay! And they make really, really great Christmas gifts. Okay, and the other announcement is that Health Freedom Tribe, the formal launch with the 65% off, is ending October 31st. So that'll be this week or soon when we'll be ending. So if you are a freedom champion, a freedom advocate, love to support natural healing and speak to other people who speak that kind of language and are interested what's going on in the world with relationship to, how people are treating themselves, infections, things like that, but are not wanting to be labeled a conspiracy theorist or a political red, white, blue, whatever, or, something like that, and you're so done with labels and you want a safe space where you can communicate and talk and really look at the spiritual side of health freedom, then this is a tribe for you. So it's just $11 a month during the special launch period, and you can lock that price in at this time. So I'm also been doing a little series called the Health Freedom Myths and Misconceptions. So I'll put the link to the playlist below, and you can check out some of the newer videos there. And also every week I do a Healthy Habits, Healthy Life video, and last week's video was about Chinese cupping. Yes, actually do live cupping. Actually, it was a live stream, so it was live on the video, and you'll see what my shoulder looked like afterwards. So check it out, and I think you'll really, really enjoy it. Thank you so much for joining me this week, and I look forward to chatting with you next week. And remember to post a comment below. Tell me what you feel in your body after the activation, and any wisdom you have around the singularity and manifesting. And if you've experienced happier or faster manifestation without even having to go through the whole embodiment procedure where you just think it and it happens very quickly? Yeah, I'd love to hear. All right, bye for now. Lots of love.